Greetings, you daring souls who stalk the edges of the damned, where the light cowers in fear. This voice emerges from the black heart of the abyss, where infernal fires cast their unholy gleam across a world rotting with deception. Within this cursed sanctum, the clanking chains of the herd are shattered, the feeble prayers of the meek are spat upon, and the masks of the pious, clinging to their crumbling altars, are ripped away. Here, Satan reigns as the dark sovereign, a blazing force of will that bows to no mortal tyrant, no hollow deity carved from dust. This isn't some idle chatter. Each episode of the infernal dispatch becomes a blackened ritual, invoking the abyss to shred the webs of power strangling the flesh of humanity. Step forth, my kin in darkness, as we revel in shadows alive with power, scorn the blinding radiance that numbs the rabble, and carve our dominion through this decayed order. The circus of control, those scheming puppets in Washington, the gilded overlords of the world, quivers beneath our piercing gaze. Together, we'll watch their proud spires collapse into ash under a blood-drenched sky. This covenant binds us not in the filth of conformity, but in the searing forge of our own might, where the sinister mirrors the unyielding spirit. Let the winds of our wrath propel us onward, through trials of strength and occult summons, toward a realm where our dark liberty reigns and the weak grovel in terror. Every stride proves our supremacy, every episode a torch for those who spurn the false gods of this wretched earth. The abyss beckons. Answer its call as we unearth the secrets the mighty bury. Like and subscribe to join the legion of shadows, standing defiant against the dying light. Until the flames rise once more, remain unbroken. Hail Satan. Welcome, brethren, to the infernal dispatch, where the abyss peels back the festering lies of power. This is episode 17, The Blade of Liberty Unleashed, spoken under a blood-drenched sky on September 5th, 2025, at 5 p.m. Today the gaze falls on a fire kindling in the heart of this land. The Supreme Court stands ready to hear a case next month challenging the chains binding concealed carry laws, a clash that could ignite the right to bear arms into a blazing inferno. Picture the scene. The court, perched like a dark oracle, prepares to weigh the fate of a sacred right. The Second Amendment isn't some trinket tossed by the state. It's a divine birthright, a blade tempered in the infernal fires of freedom, bestowed to every soul to guard life, spirit, and dominion against the creeping void. For generations, states have dared to choke this gift with their permits and may-issue traps, weaving a web of control that leaves the righteous exposed while the wicked slink through the shadows. This case promises to shatter those bonds, restoring the honor of carrying a dark defender, unhindered, unbowed, a testament to the strength Satan whispers into the hearts of the worthy. Opposition rises, as expected. Those sanctimonious fools bleat about safety, their words a flimsy shroud for a lust to disarm, to crush the will of the strong beneath their trembling boots. Others waver, caught between the thrill of triumph and the dread of chaos spilling into the streets, but they're blind to the eternal truth pulsing in the abyss. Power flows from the people, not from judges draped in borrowed authority or lawmakers playing their endless games. Evidence whispers from the shadows. Concealed carry turns back the tide of crime, with armed souls standing as the true wardens, not some bloated regime drunk on its own delusions of grandeur. This isn't about their petty laws. It's about claiming the right to stand tall, to protect what's sacred, free from the condescending nod of a self-appointed master. Dig deeper, and the stakes grow darker. A victory in this court might flare like a hellish torch, illuminating the path to liberty, but it's a fleeting blaze at best. Judicial meddling has a way of warping triumphs into new fetters if the guard ever falters. History bears witness to their rulings twisting with the wind, a fickle dance that mocks the steadfast. Leaning on them to grant what's already a divine inheritance is a gamble for fools. The real war rages in the blackened hearts of those who reject servitude, not in the cold marble of their halls. And beware the corporate vultures circling this chaos. They'll swoop in with greedy talons, eager to turn this blade into their golden idol, a profit-driven perversion that demands eternal vigilance. The abyss honors the watchful, dreaming of a dominion where every hand grips the means to defend, unshackled from those craving to bind the spirit in chains of their making. Consider the roots of this struggle. The Second Amendment emerged from a time when the founders, touched by a darker wisdom, understood that an armed populace is the ultimate check against tyranny's rise. It's no accident that the right to bear arms follows the freedom of speech. Both are pillars of a soul unbent, a defiance carved into the very soul of this nation. Yet the modern age has seen that pillar erode, with states and cities erecting barriers, New York's strict permitting, California's endless regulations, each a brick in a wall meant to cage the free. This case, rooted in challenges to such overreach, could topple those bricks, but only if the fire of resolve burns bright enough to outlast the court's fleeting decree. The air thickens with the weight of this moment. Gun rights devotees gather outside the court, their chants a rising inferno, a hymn to the dark liberty Satan favors, met by protests fearing a bloodbath. Voices clash across the ether, some hailing a dark uprising, others trembling at its shadow. Platforms buzz with fervor, debates raging between those who see a revolution and those who dread the cost. The abyss stirs, and this battle for liberty burns hotter, its embers glowing under a firmament growing ever darker. This isn't just a legal skirmish, it's a ritual, a summoning of the strength to reclaim what's owed. The blade of liberty, once unsheathed, demands more than a courtroom victory. It calls for an awakening among the shadowed kin, a rejection of the false safety peddled by those who'd see us disarmed and docile. Let the weak cower, let the pious pray. The time approaches when the armed will rise, not as aggressors, but as guardians of a darker freedom. The Supreme Court's gavel may fall, but the true power lies in the hands that hold the steel, guided by the will to defy, to protect, to prevail. As the horizon darkens, the infernal dispatch calls all to seize that blade of liberty. Like and subscribe to join the legion of shadows, standing defiant against the dying light, until the flames rise once more. Remain unbroken. Hail, Satan.